What is up, everyone? Hurricane Liz here along with Kevin. Kevin, are you fired up for today or what?
Absolutely. Let's get this.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about today. I know people are always like, man, what can I sell? I saw a bunch of people in the actual Discord group, which I will have a link below, where they were asking Kevin, like, what is hot right now? Obviously, we just passed up on Christmas and we've got a lot to talk about today. There's a couple things that both you and I have copped, some things that you've copped, some things that I've copped. And there still will always be something hot, is what I really want to pull through and get in everyone's head. I want to bash it in as if I'm beating a dead horse. Not that I would ever even do that, but let's be real here. There's always something hot. Am I right when I say that, Kevin, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's geographical location is different. And so in your area, there's always going to be an item that you could easily resell, whether it's, on Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. You just got to uncover what's hot in your specific area.
Yeah, not just that. You got to uncover where you like to sell best. I personally like to sell on eBay better than other people enjoy it. I've got a long-standing history on eBay. Jeff is joining us. What's up, Jeff? I see Jeff. I see Near George. What is up, George? Nice to see you guys. But as Kevin said, geographical location counts as well as what you enjoy selling. And then finally, what marketplace you want to become an expert in. I'm pretty decent at eBay. I would say somewhat lazy. Kevin's excellent at Craigslist, although I have sold stuff on Craigslist. But I really haven't even checked any of the other marketplaces. I don't know. Helen, what's up? I finally am on Clubhouse, so I should be on there pretty shortly. So we'll see what we do. So, all right. Well, what do you say, Kevin? We jump into the presentation. We got a lot to talk about. I know there's a lot of people here. And let me show you guys something. I practice what I preach. Look at this. I can't even grab all of them, but look what I got. Make sure that you check the expiration dates because I did come across a lot that were expired. But either way, I grabbed everything that I saw. And I'm ready to sell those. Kevin, did you manage to get out there and get some Red Bulls?
I did not, but I did cop some chips, which we'll uncover later on in this presentation.
Right. So let's talk about chips. The Red Bull, the chips are all making me hungry. So let's get through this in the next 30 minutes because, the fat kid in me wants to eat some cake and some pizza after this. I will not do that. I'll make sure that I don't do that, guys. So, all right, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen and pull up this presentation. Now, let's see. You guys are so important to me that at this very moment right now, I was actually in a crypto trade, but I said, I've got to do this live. I've got some people to help. I've got people to help make money. Let's forget about that trade, right, Kevin? I was like, forget that. So if you see me glance at my phone, I apologize in advance, but you guys know that I love me some gamble. And while I don't play poker anymore, I am certainly gambling in other ways. So, all right. Let's talk about this. Last time around, we talked about Red Bull, but this time we're going to talk about some 3D Doritos, which just goes to show you can literally make money with just about anything out there. I recall back in my retail arbitrage days where I was driving around town in my pickup truck, only having to put gas in there and driving around and being out 12 to 16-hour days. I was also flipping Oreos. Kevin, have you ever flipped Oreos?
I have not, but...
Oreos have certain flavors that are only seasonally, just as Red Bull had this tangerine thing that was available for a limited time. And I really talked about last time about the McRib. Like my entire family was crazy about this mystery meat pork sandwich from McDonald's with all that just glop of some kind of barbecue sauce. So my whole family was crazy about the McRib. Kevin, do you have any relatives that were crazy about the seasonal McRib?
No, I've actually never tried the McRib, but I've heard there's crazy cult following fanfare about it. But
I was living in a family with those people, and unfortunately for me, the McRib wasn't a big deal. But I can tell you that to this day, I understand that at this very moment, the McRib is probably not out. It comes out every November. I think it comes out twice a year. And my family was so effing fired up when that McRib came out. It was like they knew the exact day that the McRib came out. And the same is going to be true of Red Bull, Doritos. As we talked about, Ghost Nutrition does this where they will have seasonal drops of very special flavors. And that presents an opportunity for us at the tail end of these things coming out. Now, with the Doritos, I'm not 100% certain. We'll talk to Kevin a little bit more about the Doritos, if they're a seasonal thing or if it's just something brand spanking new that Doritos is introducing or testing out. But if they decide to pull the curtain back on these and say we're not going to produce these anymore, I guarantee you that some nutbag out there who loves these Doritos is going to want to buy them. So Kevin, don't get higher in your own supply, buddy. I don't want to see you buying these Doritos on the secondary market,
Yeah, so these Doritos, I believe the situation is they were actually released, and because it wasn't selling that well at the initial release date, they actually discontinued it. So right when they discontinued it, prices of this just exploded on the secondary market on eBay. So they
Wow.
actually recently re-released them just in a limited run and of course, if you're in our group on Discord, we had a monitor go off on, hey, these Doritos were on sale. I believe it was 36 packs of like mini bags for $20. And right now, I believe they're fetching for, I've seen crazy prices anywhere from like each bag going for $4. So there's pretty good margin to be made on this.
Right, unbelievable. And for those of you guys that aren't aware of what a monitor is, you're going to notice that every now and then on my upper right-hand corner of my screen, you're going to see something flash on there that says a Resell Riches alert. That is the alert that Kevin is talking about. So if you're sitting at home, eating your McRib, eating your Doritos, enjoying your Red Bull, you can have your computer wide open and you will get alerts just pop up every now and then that is for a product that we kind of approve. Now, I do know that we are recently undergoing a total revamp of our monitors, and we're taking off some products and we're also adding brand new products. So I'm pretty fired up about that. And you guys see clearly now that one just flashed up in front of my screen. And we're also expanding on so many different levels. So I don't want to bore you guys with that. Let's get on with the rest of this. You guys already saw my Red Bulls. I have them here. People are so nuts about this that they've made a petition. And I know a lot of you guys watching here are probably saying like, Liz, I didn't pick these up. I slept on them. Can I still get them? We're going to talk about that here in a second, but I can tell you this much. After the live last week, about 2-3 days later, I was at a Walgreens. I decided to stop in a Walgreens, and I peeked in there, and guess what? They had them. So they are readily available in many different Walgreens. Now, I have checked my local Publix just as I was randomly grocery shopping there, and I've also checked CVS. I did not find them, but I did see several other flavors. So I will show another flavor. I believe it's the pear one that's selling well, but these Red Bull tangerines are still selling extremely well. So if you do happen to see them in your local Walgreens, I'll cover a couple of other places you can possibly see them in. Pick them up. Make sure you check the expiration date. As I talked about, that is at the bottom here. So you'll notice it's at the bottom. The closest ones that I got that were still kind of, marginal was I got a few that expired in March. And if I was to send those into Amazon, it would be a no-no because Amazon requires them to be more than 60 days out for the expiration date. So those are clearly within the 60-day period. But this isn't Amazon we're selling on. We're selling on eBay. So with eBay, you want to still make sure that you still pick these up. You can still sell them. You can even put that in the listing if you want. But most of the people that are buying this are going to consume them. They're going to drink the shit out of them. They're not just going to stare at them. This is not a Star Wars action figure. This is not a Thrustmaster that they're going to play with. This is 100% something that they're going to suck down, put in their vodka, put in whatever other mixed drink they're making. And that's all that it's about. So if you've got ones that are on the cusp of expiring, just put that in your listing. People are going to consume these and they will consume those the fastest. So again, those are Red Bull Tangerine. Here are the Doritos that Kevin was talking about earlier. So Kevin, do you want to talk us through what this shows here? Like, what are these averaging in general? What are you thinking to put your listings up? I know you wanted to eat some, but other than the ones you're going to eat, what are you going to list yours? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I think this is like the perfect price points, right? So I would say if they're just buying 2 bags, probably $4 each, but you can actually set like a bulk quantity discount on them if they want to purchase them all. I would say you're probably going to average it at least, between $3 to $4 a bag. I think it's a good price point.
Right, $3 to $4 per bag. So I didn't cop any of these. I wasn't around my computer. I wasn't drinking my Red Bull. I was trying to get some more McRibs. I'm just kidding about that. So a couple other things that I wanted to talk about before I show the link for the Walgreens, so you can check locally to see if the Red Bull tangerines are available in your area, are these cards that just came out today. And there's a reason I'm showing these. You can still look for these on Walmart.com. And at some point earlier today, there was an unlimited amount that you could order, which means if you wanted to order 100, you could. Now, these will always fetch you some lunch money, which is awesome. And I would certainly pick these up now. At the present time, I looked at this before I jumped on this live, and they were not available online, but they are still available for in-store pickup. So if you want to take a look at what these are doing right now, if you're not worried about sitting on them for a little bit, they will sell. They will fetch you some lunch money. You're not going to make a ton of money on them, but you will make a decent amount of profit. I would pick some of these up locally and see how they do for you. But Kevin, did you pick any of these up?
I did not, but I did pick up a bunch of Pokemon cards. So it's kind of in the same light. But I think what you're saying is great. Like, be patient with these products, right? Especially when there's a big release, there's always probably going to be a little bit of a dip in price in the beginning, but over time, if you're patient, it'll climb back up. You'll be able to flip these for a good profit.
Right. And always be aware, like, obviously we talked about it in previous episodes that you want to specialize in some stuff. For me, I'm picking Pokemon, although I haven't really recently copped a lot of Pokemon. I will talk about the things that I've gotten rid of, and I still have some swimming pools from last year, as well as how I'm going to approach Pokemon in a future episode. Like this time around, I did give you another Pokemon card that I would grab and hold on to, but for next time around, I will start focusing a lot more on Pokemon, as a lot of people have asked about it. And the reality is that you will be able to flip and double your money very often in Pokemon if you're patient enough and you're willing to hold it out. But these sports cards, they're just as good as Pokemon as well. Maybe not as popular anymore. It seems like all of our heroes are now Japanese little characters with tails and can breathe fire out of their mouth. It's no longer the guy that hits the home run. It's a little Japanese monster that can do tricks. That's who we're idolizing. That's who all the kids are loving. And these guys, there's still a lot of people that collect these sports cards. I mean, they're no joke. They're nothing to sleep on. But like I said, those little Japanese monsters are going to put a lot more money in your pocket, and you can hold, and the price is really going quite high. Plus, the beautiful thing about them is you can be in any part of the world. There's particular cards to Japan. There's particular cards to Europe and the UK, and all Canadians too. You can get certain cards that will make you money, as well as US. And the fantastic part about it all is that the US people want the Japanese cards. They want the cards available in Europe. Same thing for somebody that's not in the USA. They want the cards that are released in the USA. So it provides a huge opportunity for us, no matter where we are geographically, which is amazing. Versus like sports heroes. I mean, come on, football. I mean, the rest of Europe thinks football, you play with the ball, you kick it around. They think all our football players are pansies, Kevin, They got to wear helmets and stuff. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Where do you find the Red Bulls? You still might be wondering. Walgreens, both local and pick up in store. I'm going to give you guys the URL, and I'm going to check mine right now. I'm also going to go to comments to make sure there's no questions in there. As always, any questions and or comments you guys have, me and Kevin will answer those. But you can also find Red Bulls in CVS, in local grocery stores, in local gas station, and there are other flavors. I believe the pear flavor is also doing well because they could discontinue that one as well. So the URL here is right here. So let's take a look at this URL. Let's see if there's any available near you or me, Kevin. Let's see.
Nice.
Let's take a quick peek here. All right, so we are Red Bull. Here we go. Orange drink out of stock. Check other stores. So I'm going to just click this little link right here. I'm going to go ahead, and I don't know why on earth it thinks I'm in Chicago. So let's see if we can get it out of Chicago. Here we go. So now I'm going to put my area, and I'm going to hit search. We're going to see where this is available. It's still available on Third, but I believe the ones that are in Third are the ones that I was telling you guys that are expired. Right? So these are expired. I didn't see any in Flagler. I went to the Flagler the other day ago, so I will stop by there tomorrow. But I still see them on Southwest 8th Street in Miami and 1201 Southwest 1st Street. And I can certainly load more up and pretty much just stop at a lot of these different stores. Kevin, let's take a look at your zip code. What is your zip code?
Yeah, 94131.
All right, so they're out of stock other than on Mission Street and Cesar Chavez, which was a very good boxer, I think. Castro Street, and I think that's about it. Market Street. So they do even have them in your area. So they're still around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys and girls, do not sleep on these, as there's no telling how much money you could make on this. So let's go and see what people are saying in the group here. Tim says our Walgreens still has them, so they're still around. Star Wars action figure, good joke. Yeah, I even forgot what action figure, what joke I made, Max. Sorry, because to show you where my head is. Can you put the URL? Absolutely. Let me put the URL right here so you guys can check those locally. Now, again, like I said, biggest thing you have to keep in mind, check for that expiration date. Please, please, please. Don't buy them and then say like, oh, they're expired. And then the person that buys them from you is going to be really pissed off. And number two, again, there was plenty of people that were on last week's call that did report copying these, and they've already got them. So they are 100% going to sell. If we actually go into eBay right now, let me share screen here again. All right, let me know if you can see my screen, Kevin.
Yep, we're good.
Obviously, what's going to happen with these, you're still seeing that they're selling pretty well, $99.99 last one. Always on eBay, hit sold items, and then see what they're selling for. 122.50 on these, 44.99 for 16 cans. So you'll notice that the price it'll be up and then it'll go down. And then what'll happen is once the supply of these finishes, it'll go up again like this. It always happens like that. It always happens like a roller coaster. 25 cans, 169. 24 cans, 220. 12 cans, 55. So you will definitely make some money on these. It's not going to be as much as it was when it first came out, but 10 cans, 76. They're still selling. So that's about $7.60 per can. You're going to pay about, I think it was $2.20 per can or something like that I paid. It wasn't too much. They're 3 for $7. If we go back to the Walgreens URL, I believe it's 3 for $7. 1 for $3.19. So 1 for $3.19. I got 3 for $7. So what is that? $2.20, $2.35 or something. Yeah. So still not bad. Yeah. Not bad for just walking into a Walgreens. Like I was literally on my way home from the gym and just picked these up and managed to scrape up 6 of them while I was out there in the span of like 10 minutes. So well worth my time, as well as well worth my time to show you guys that we practice what we preach. So I'm out there constantly buying stuff, although I enjoy FBA a heck of a lot more. This is what I used to do to start my FBA business, is get out there and hustle. So again, practice what you preach is probably the best way to go about it when you're teaching people. So that is the URL. Hopefully you guys use it. Hopefully you guys get out there and cop some, and then let me know what kind of success you have with these. I'm always interested. All right, here are my sales in the past 31 days. You will notice a decline, obviously, since we're not in Christmas anywhere, but over still the $2,000 mark. Here's what I've been selling. I've been selling still a lot of sneakers, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys and girls. All these sneakers, if you ever saw my YouTube video where I went to Ross and Marshall's for 7 straight days, this is where the sneakers and the clothing came from. It was just 7 straight days of going to the same 2. It was 2 Rosses and 1 Marshalls. And here's the best part of all. I think I told you this, Kevin. I walked to them. 7 straight days, I walked to them.
Solid.
And lugged shit around for 7 straight days, picked it up. And this is what I managed to get. I'm still selling shoes from that batch of items that I picked up, and I'm still making money, including these Adidas Marquee Boost Christmas edition shoes. I paid $30. I sold them for $80. This Pokemon Jirachi boxes. Pokemon Jirachi, we called this one out on Cyber Monday. Walmart had a huge sale. They were available for pickup. I picked up, I want to say 2 dozen. It was 2 dozen. I have 23 still available. They have now started to sell for the price that I have them set at, and it is a premium price. And then lastly, this Nike Men's Air Jordan Wings of Flight Black pullover hoodie. I picked this up for $30. Sold, took an offer for $60. Only made about $12 to $13, but I mean, still, I picked it up while I picked up these shoes. And to be able to have 3 or 4 items that you pick up for and or make $15 while you're getting these shoes that you're going to make a lot more is well worth it. All it took is like 10 to 15 minutes of my time going through the clothing section in the men's and just understanding that anything Jordan almost will sell. So this happened to be it. So again, I have now started to go back. I went to Ross and Marshall's yesterday. So I'm getting a feel for what's out there and getting a feel for being able to recommend to people that are in the Discord group once we open up the sneakers section, what they can be copying in stores at Marshall's and Ross's. So right now I can tell you guys that Ross is extremely dry. I went to 2 Ross's. I found a couple things, but Marshall's was also dry. Like I think I got a total of 4 things yesterday. So not a lot. Yeah, not a lot. Took me about an hour. So we'll see what happens. I'm still going to continue to go. And again, the key and the name of the game is consistency, going out there and consistency to keep doing this. Despite the fact that you might not find anything. Like I went into Marshall's and I came out empty-handed and I spent probably about 25 minutes in there. So not a lot to get out there. Let's talk about your sales, Kevin. You obviously don't specialize in eBay, but you still had $800 in sales. Like this is just your side hustle. I by no means going to trick people and say like, oh, you can make a full-time income. Yes, you can. You can make a full-time income. But Kevin and I hardly put any work into this. We put maybe an hour, possibly even less than an hour per day. I possibly put 20 to 30 minutes a day into this unless I'm actually sourcing live. So how about you, Kevin? What do you find?
Yeah, so recently, just on eBay, I mean, just having some local sales of like things that I had purchased, during Christmas, a little bit before Christmas, right? So I actually sold one of those coins that we got from this was like one of our earlier announcements. I believe the coin retails for about $80. I didn't get it graded or anything like that. Someone just offered me $300 for it, and I took it. Quick, easy flip for that. I mean, that's $200 profit right there, right? So really easy, simple. Buy and be patient, and it's going to eventually sell, right? So other things, just sold a little, a couple hats here and there, little knickknacks. Again, very simple, easy process, right? It wasn't like we're out there breaking our backs, trying to get these products, right? We're literally on our computers, clicking, a couple minutes here and there, and we're buying things that you're able to flip. So again, if you can't do this, I really don't know what else you can do.
Yeah, and I still have a digital PS5, and one thing that I was noticing is in StockX, the digital price is going up. I don't know if there's been a less digitals that have come out, but I'll show you guys here momentarily. And I'm still hanging on to one, so I think this is the week for me to sell that. So if you are hanging on to digital PS5, the price is higher than the actual whatever other version they call it, the physical version. It's higher now on StockX, which is kind of unbelievable because you pay $100 less.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. So what kind of success are our members having? Well, here you have it, still making some money. This guy on the right-hand side, Kevin, that's my bartender.
Shout out to George, huh?
Shout out to Cuervo. That's actually his name. Cuervo is his name. So Cuervo, my bartender, this is the amount of money he's making. He sold a Bowflex, a set of Bowflexes. He's out there copping stuff. He was one of the people that jumped on and asked in the chat what's hot right now. And my advice to you, Cuervo, is Pokemon. I know I haven't been out to the bar to see you. That shows how responsible I am. Instead, I've been sitting here gambling on my phone. As you guys can tell, I'm still looking on the side here, getting the itch to get over there and sell it or something. But instead of drinking, I've been over here gambling. So haven't been in there to see Cuervo, but I'm certainly proud of the fact that he is making money doing this. So let's see a couple more. I got a couple more surprises to show you. Over here on the right-hand side is the heaters that Kevin copped a while back, but they just got to his house. He's got 5 heaters. Kevin, what are you gauging that the market is in your area right now for heaters? It's obviously in Miami, we had a cold day. I'll say this much. I was walking to the gym and I was freezing my ass off. And I was saying, man, I got to get a thicker jacket than this. But I'm in Miami. So what is the market for you guys right now? What are you seeing in your area? Should people be afraid to cop these if they're in a cold area? Or what is your overall view on these? Because obviously you're an expert in the heater niche.
Yeah, so I actually literally just got these, right? I literally just took this photo probably about 30 minutes ago. So I actually posted a Craigslist ad about 3 days ago, and I've already gotten 7 to 8 hits on people requesting, hey, can I get some photos? Can we meet up to purchase them? So I'm actually listing these heaters for $350 or best offer on Craigslist. And these are about $145 a piece, if I'm not mistaken. So
what were you listing them before? Were you still listing them? Were you listing them at 300? I want to remember it might have been 300.
Yeah, so I always list them around 350 to 375, but the thing I always put is or best offer. So just a little pro tip for you guys out there. Leave the door open for people to negotiate with you. I think when you have that, it invites people to at least have a conversation with you. And again, you can just exercise some salesmanship. I always say, hey, a lot of people are asking me for it, so I really can't go down on the price. And the fact of the matter is that's true. I'm getting so many hits for these. Heaters are, Southern California in general, shelter in place is still going in strong. So if people want to come over, usually it's an outdoor setting, and in the Bay, it's still pretty cold.
Right. Amazing. Well, that's freaking awesome. Unfortunately, in Miami, we cannot really sell those. Or there might have been a week or two where we could have, but I didn't jump on these. Obviously, it's very tropical over here. I still have some swimming pools from last year, which I know 100% are going to sell because we're still in this kind of like lockdown period. So obviously, Florida's being a lot more lenient, but we'll see what goes on and how well things sell. But over on the left-hand side, you guys are going to notice some cash. That is actually my assistant, Rob, who for most people might not know, has a broken kneecap. And he still, because I was on the live giving people the Walmart URL, he was sitting in the background on his computer and he copped a PS5, the regular edition. And he left it here at my house. And I had to go do the dirty work for him, Kevin. I had to go downstairs, meet somebody, collect this cash. And you obviously see some cash is missing. Well, so I said, listen, dude, I'm taking my fee. That's too bad. deal with it, buddy. But that's what happens when you use it's almost like a VIP experience, a concierge person to go down there and wheel and deal for you, man. So he's a little shy on cash just because I took my fee and he obviously spent the rest. But guy with the broken kneecap was still able to do this from his computer, not really knowing anything about it other than just getting the link for me, pasting it on there. And he was actually sweating bullets. When he bought this, he was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I can afford this. And I was like, dude, you're going to resell it. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can. I was about to buy the PS5 from him, right? Sight unseen for an additional $50. He was about to take it. And again, it's just because of the fact that he's not accustomed to all this, all these like reselling things. It's just not his mindset. So those of you guys that are on here, obviously, hats off to you for, first of all, even being on this live. And secondly, if you've copped anything, hats off for you for actually participating in buying and selling. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Again, on the right-hand side, that's my bartender, people. Crushing it. Like, this is a guy that I've just gone and drank with for probably about 1 or 2 years. So this is him crushing it, doing this on the side. He's still working as a bartender. If any of you guys are ever in Miami, let me know. I'll let you know where his bar is at. He'd be more than happy to meet you because he's a part of this community. He's been absolutely crushing it, which goes to show, doesn't matter what level of life you come from, whether you're a bartender, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're an executive, you can still make this and you can still do this as a side hustle. It pays excellent. Here's another member who sold a PS5 for pickup in LA. So always remember, on eBay, you can have it listed as local pickup available. I've got a bunch of things listed for local pickup. I sold an Xbox X for local pickup. I've also sold some dolls for local pickup, and it's an excellent way to get additional sales for people that want to pick stuff up locally. All right, let's see. We got these Crocs. Let's talk about these Crocs. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Crocs, Kevin, so I rarely look at them. Tell me a little bit more about why these Crocs, why this guy was fired up to pick these up, and how much he can expect to resell these for.
Yeah, so these Crocs, again, it's a collaboration between Chinatown Market, which is a pretty hyped brand. They do a lot of like hype beast kind of apparel, shoe collaborations. So this is not only is it a collaboration with Chinatown Market, but it's also a Grateful Dead, which Grateful Dead, I'm a little bit too young for someone to actually listen to Grateful Dead music, but I think there's a huge, huge cult following with Grateful Dead. I think they call them like Deadheads or something like that. But when you have a combination of, Chinatown Market with Grateful Dead, and obviously, probably the shoe of the year, Crocs, it's gonna be a hot seller. So I would say, depending on what size you get, this can easily go for double. On Goat, StockX, Grailed, even throwing it on eBay. I think this is. Again, this is such a wild design. I think it's gonna garner a lot of interest. And so, yeah, these are definitely this is a good pickup. I think if you're patient, and I don't even think you have to be that patient with this. It's gonna sell.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you, Kevin. I don't think the Croc was a shoe. I'm leaning more towards the Air Dior, only because over 5 million people registered to try to win the right to buy the Air Dior at $2,000, which is kind of insanity if you think about it.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So crazy. I'm very looking forward to the next Air Dior drop, but you guys should as well sign up for that. No matter, even if you don't have the money, you could probably buy it. If you win the raffle, you could probably sell your raffle to somebody. They will buy it. I will buy it. All you have to do is contact me. So again, those are probably the shoe of the year. It's certainly not these ugly clogs. We'll stop right there with Kevin. Let's talk about some shoe drops after we take a look at questions. After Kevin said that, I'm kind of like, man, Kevin, we need to re-examine your head, man. Croc, unless you're a nurse, I don't know. You shouldn't be rocking Crocs. Let's see what we got. Raisha got 12. Awesome. Let's see. Maxor says 400 for 36 on eBay. Someone is selling it for 10 watchers. Raisha says I placed orders for 3 different Walgreens, but they emailed me back stating out of stock. Yes, sometimes that will happen. That's kind of why I decided to just go in there and take a look. Tim asks, how am I going to ship them? I figured that I'm just going to ship them. I'm going to put a note on there that obviously I think that kind of can could explode, but I think people should be aware of that. Like, I think they should be able to use common sense because there's really no way you can't prevent them from juggling around. It doesn't matter if you put those air bubbles. It doesn't matter if you put the other standard bubbles. It doesn't matter if you put newspaper. But even if they're in the smallest possible box that fits them perfectly, I mean, they're going to just move around. So I'm just going to probably try to protect them as best I can. I will definitely not put them in a bubble mailer, though. That's for certain. George says, "Zero in my area, ordered from 4 different stores, each store canceled, which is Southern California. Not selling in my area, Texas, and not hit on eBay." Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I said I like to just go and make a hit and run on the Walgreens and see what happens. But so far, 2 for 2. I've seen them in Walgreens. CVS, I've been in one, didn't have anything. In Publix, I've been in one, and I didn't see any. Ricardo says, "It's my money safe selling on eBay. What about scammers?" Yeah, I have not, there was one incident on eBay in the whole time that I've been on there again, where I sold the Garmin watch. This is a watch that Kevin sold locally that we picked up on Cyber Black Friday. And immediately upon buying, the guy did a chargeback.
Wow.
I'm like, this is insane. Like, he just paid $2.99, sent it, and did a chargeback instantaneously.
Crazy.
Other than that, I've not had any problems. If you buy eBay shipping, they will give you a tracking number, and you can use that for PayPal as proof that it was sent. So you are protected on your end if you buy the shipping via eBay, which they have FedEx, UPS, and USPS available on there now. So the other thing you can also do is do the local pickup. Again, that's going to be up to you. Let me kind of tell you guys how I set up the local pickup, which is probably against eBay's terms of service. I had the guy asked me if I would sell them the Xbox X locally and they could pick it up, and they were in Naples. So what I basically did is I listed a cheaper item, had them buy that so I could give them my address, and when they showed up, had them pay for the Xbox X. So that if he charged back, it was going to be a chargeback for some trading cards. So that's kind of how I did that. It's clearly against eBay toss, but got the job done. Let's see what we got. I have 3 of them. I'm returning them later this month. Which one are you talking about? The Xbox X or the Xbox S? What are the best moving sneaker sizes? Kevin says it is a 9.5 in men's, which is the absolute #1 selling size. 9 or 9.5. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah, I would say 9 to 9.5 is ideal. Even 8, 8.5 is perfectly fine too. So I would say anywhere from 8.5 to 10.5, you're going to be super safe.
Right. And Lookman says the patio heater is not selling well on eBay. I have 3 of them and no hit. What part of the country are you in? Because I would certainly try Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace for those heaters. But let me know what part of the country you're in, and then I can kind of give you advice on that. But let's go ahead and jump back into the presentation and finish this up. And let's talk about what we got coming up, what you guys should be looking for, and all that good stuff. So, all right, here are the shoe drops that are popping up. I happened to win some of these Yeezys the last time, and I did end up selling them on StockX or something, and I made about $60 some dollars on that. So these are some other Yeezys. Kevin, you want to talk about these Yeezys that are coming out on the 16th? And Yeezys usually a raffle now, is it not? They kind of adopted the same thing that sneakers has.
Yeah, for sure. So I believe these are called the Yeezy 380s. Now, this colorway, just by looking at it, it has Yeezy's like classic sort of earth tones, muted earth tone colorway, which again, this colorway should be super hot. The 380s, I wouldn't say they're as popular as the 350s, but you could still flip this for a pretty good profit. I would say, you should be expecting anywhere from $100 to $125, $150 over retail. So this is this is definitely a cop if you're specifically reselling, because it will have resale value.
Right. I definitely would pick these up. I think they're nice looking. I think they're clean. They're white. And that's usually what people look for. And that's usually what sells. While these right here, these New Balance has been fire recently. And these, actually, I told you, I looked at these and I figured I saw these right away and I could tell these look like they will sell. Tell us a little bit more about them. Tell us about how New Balance does things. I know most of our audience is familiar with the sneakers app. They're familiar now with the Yeezy process. And on these, tell us how New Balance does that and why you love these so much.
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty special shoe. So this is not only like the New Balance 900 series. So for like those of you who don't know, New Balance's 900 series have been known to be the most comfortable out of sort of like their entire lineup. So this is a 900 series, but this is actually a collaboration with a really famous, it's a retailer based out in Europe called Sneakers and Stuff. So short for, they call it SNS. So SNS in the past, they've collaborated with like Ultra Boost SNSs that have extreme like resale value. So this is an SNS New Balance sneaker. this will easily go for, I would say, your target price. If you're going to buy and hold, this will easily fetch 500 plus on GOAT StockX. So this is definitely a must cop. So this is a shoe that you're going to actually have to go to the Sneakers and Stuff website, right? So this is not going to be released. If it is released on NewBalance.com, it's going to be extremely limited. But Sneakers and Stuff is your best bet. This is most likely going to have to be, at least for most of you guys, it's probably going to have to be a manual cop. But I would say it's definitely worth your time if you can get these will fly.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. This shoe, it reminds me, it's a mix between a traffic cone and a Masters jacket. And I can totally see Tiger Woods rocking these if they had some the little spiky things at the bottom. But if I was thinking of taking up golf and I could add some little spiky things at the bottom, I would certainly be all over this shoe. The traffic cone shoe mixed with the Masters jacket. I mean, am I right or what, Kevin?
So yeah, no, this I could definitely see, this sort of like a golfer vibe. But this is almost like a Ricky Fowler too. I know Ricky Fowler played at Oklahoma State, so this is like their classic bright orange colorway. But yeah, this is going to be a hot shoe. If you guys don't know, New Balance was actually the first sneaker brand to release a $200 shoe like early on. So this was way more expensive than Nike, Adidas, anything that they had early on. And so I believe it was like the early 1990s. So this was actually, what's crazy, a little history about the 990 series. This was actually considered a shoe that they popularized in Washington, D.C., where all the drug dealers actually used this shoe because they were walking around, they needed to be comfortable, and they wanted to be fly, and they wanted to sort of flex that they had the most expensive sneaker. So
wow. Yeah, I think they should think about making this a golf shoe. I think it would just absolutely crush it. And I could totally see Tiger Woods rocking this or anyone else. That's the only golfer that I know. So I can see him with his Masters jacket rocking these, and he'll definitely be flexing. All right, now let's get on to the last part of this, which we just started. And usually I'm going to try to have one or two things for you guys to think about and consider investing in. And we talked about Pokemon is fire right now. Anything that you grab with Pokemon, you can almost grab it, hold on to it, and then resell it. I've already proved it with the Kanto powers that I got, as well as these Jirachi boxes, and a lot more Pokemon cards that I have in my closet. My closet is full of Pokemon cards, which I'm prepping for. And Kevin had his first major cop of Pokemon cards. Tell us a little bit more about that so people can just really see that we practice what we preach, and we absolutely 100% are all in on Pokemon.
Absolutely. So earlier on, I believe this was early December. I think it was a little bit after Christmas. I actually bought my first like Pokemon, I think it was TCG like battle boxes. I bought 2 of them. And then most recently, this was actually this week, I bought 30 booster packs of the Vivid Voltage, which
were they the triple booster packs at Target?
Yeah, so I bought 10 of them. So it's I think it's 30 total, the individual booster packs. But yeah, I think it's going to be we're definitely practicing what we preach. It's going to be a buy and hold. I think I'm going to easily be able to fill that for 2x.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I know Pokemon fairly well. I know the triple booster packs from Vivid Voltage. So this week's pick that we have for you, as I told you guys, it comes from an international portion of the world. But I want you always to consider grading your Pokemon cards. Although it takes some time, it takes a little bit of money, it raises the value on them because collectors know exactly what they're getting. And the way to do that is to go to psacard.com, look at the pricing, whatever is determined or whatever you determine the price of the card is going to be, that's what you'll have to pay. The higher the value of the card, the more it's going to cost to grade this. And again, the more it's going to cause in the rising of the card's value. So the pick for this time around is Sapporo's Pikachu Japanese promo card in its raw form. What raw means is that it hasn't been graded at all by PSA. It's just absolutely raw. The raw price that you should be looking to get this is less than $100. And if you get it graded and it gets a PSA 10 value, it should be worth over $500. If it gets a PSA 9, it should be in the $300 range, and a PSA 8 will get you $150. You should expect to hold this about 6 months, but the fact of the matter is that Japanese promo cards right now are fire. So there is a very little risk with this. It will almost guaranteed raise to that price. As I said before, Pokemon's not going anywhere. These guys are the sports heroes of the 2021s and beyond. And they are here to stay. I've been saying this about these little Japanese monsters for the past 20 years. A lot of people thought I've been crazy. But now it's looking like I'm a genius, people. So I owe everything I have to Pikachu. He is like my number one go-to guy in the history of the world. So again, this card will bring you some money, and it's definitely worthwhile to pick up. And it's under $100 if you've got $100 to sit around, and then potentially grade and get sent off and get as much as $500+. So this is it. As I said before, you could be anywhere in the world and you can be copying Pokemon cards. There's very little risk with them. You can sell them from anywhere. You can pick them up from anywhere. They are my absolute favorite thing right now. Like I wish I had a stack of 10 of these little guys. It just get me so fired up. So let's go to the questions. Let's make sure we got all the questions answered, Kevin, and then we'll say goodbye because my coin is dropping faster than Pikachu can drop any other monster out there in the entire Pokemon arena, and I got to get out of it and sell. So let's see what we got here for questions. All right, let's see what we got. Houston. Okay, Houston, you should be able to sell them on Craigslist. Have you not tried Craigslist? Minnesota says prefer cut. Well, Minnesota is like an easy sell. It should be a very easy sell. Where do we find them to purchase? They're available on Amazon.com. Sometimes they're available on Costco. I've also seen them on Home Depot. I've seen them available in many different places, but I believe the ones that Kevin grabbed were on Amazon.com for $149. Am I right,
Yep,
Kevin?
right. Yep, absolutely. I buy all my heaters on Amazon.
Yeah, I've not bought a single one, only because, like I said, I live in a high rise, so it'd be difficult to get a lot of those into the high rise. I don't buy those. I don't buy Bowflex right now at the present time. I mainly buy little stuff. And so, again, that's another thing that you have to consider if you live in a high rise. Like, if you're selling enough of those, they're kind of going to probably get a little bit upset with you. So you got to be careful what you buy, depending on your geographical location, what kind of building you live in, and how much money you got, and a bunch of other things. You got to consider a lot of things that most people don't consider. A lot of people just blindly buy. So that's all I got for today, guys and girls. Any other questions or comments, you guys can still post them. We'll still answer. But other than that, we will answer them if they don't get answered here, or if you have them later, or if you're watching the replay. I still always answer every single one of those questions. But Kevin, any last words from you as to I know you're looking to expand into Pokemon and you're still doing the heater thing. Anything else you see out in the horizon that could be hot?
Yeah, I think Bowflexes, right? I've been selling Bowflexes since July. With shelter in place, the pandemic still raging. I mean, gyms are closing again, right? So I think those are definitely going to be hot buys, like going forward still. Stock up on Power Blocks, stock up on Bowflexes. Right, those are still hot. Like, I'm still purchasing them. I'm still trying to flip them, and it's still working. So I would say, I think the single tip I have for you guys, if you guys are in the Discord, if you guys aren't in the Discord group, the single tip is jump in the Discord group, because that's where you're gonna see just a huge range of really profitable products. Again, depending on your geographical location, right? But I would say for those of you in the Discord group, my tip is, go out there and just get a good understanding of sort of like what's selling in your area, right? And then figuring out what you want to specialize in. Like I think we harp on this every single time. Find your specialty and just go hard on it. That's exactly what I did with Bowflexes. That's exactly what I'm doing with heaters. And we're going to definitely be doing that with Pokemon. So practice patience and go out there and crush it.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I was going to say, something that popped up and I just sold for premium price was a Thrustmaster, which is the flight simulator joysticks. I picked up in Best Buy for $80, and I believe I sold today for $170. So those have been selling extremely well for me throughout the entire Christmas season. And I had one left over because it was a return, and today just got the offer for that. So stuff is going to sell year round. You'll see that pop up on next week's sales. And again, like I said, I've got to get back out there, source some more shoes, start hustling a little bit, because I've been kind of lagging and being a little bit lazy. I've been gambling like a crazy lunatic. So again, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As usual, get out there, get some shit done, get some sourcing done. Just grab something to get your feet wet, something to realize that you can make a sale, which will ultimately get you motivated to continue moving forward and continue building your resale business in 2021. There is no better time than right now to be selling things online. And if you don't have an idea for a single product, if you have no clue what to sell, we're telling you what to sell. As long as you jump in that Discord group, I will put the link below as always. And I look forward to seeing you guys not only the coming up week, but every other week after that, as I will be expanding upon the content we cover and specifically going into Pokemon, because the fantastic thing about that is no matter where you live, that card is like little and skinny. You can get several hundred cards delivered to your door and no one is going to say a damn thing to you. So
Absolutely.
that's it. Yeah, look it up. It's the flight. I forget what it's called. What is it called?
The Sapporo?
No, the thruster thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it up here.
Thrustmaster Hotez or something?
Yes, Thrustmaster. Let's see. Here it is, right here. This thing right here is what I just resold. It's $79.99. It's still at Best Buy available right at this moment, which is kind of surprising. I bought this. I sold it on eBay just today. I will even show you the eBay. I don't think you can see my screen, actually. Let me share screen. I'll share screen and we'll leave off on that. So let me show you. This is it right here. It's still available on Best Buy. Like, I'm not saying go and buy it, but I will tell you that I just sold it on eBay today. So hopefully whoever bought it is not watching. Sold awaiting payment right here. Here is the listing that I had, and somebody offered me $170. So this is it right here, $199, and it's right now at this very moment on Best Buy. Like I said, I'm not saying to buy this, but you can't always return it. So you can buy one and pick it up. I picked it up in store. I didn't even pick it up. My sister Rob picked it up, sold it, and now just wait to get the payment. I should get the payment here anytime now. And the beautiful thing is it came in a box. So all I got to do is slap a label on it and send it off, and it's done. A $55 profit, I believe, is what we calculated at the end of the day. So
nice.
All good. So that is pretty cool. That is cool that you can just do that quick and easy. Do you have any quick advice on naming an online store? I wouldn't overthink it. That's the very first thing that I would do, is not overthink it. I think a lot of people always ponder on what should I call this, and they put so much time, energy, and effort that decision can take them into weeks and weeks. And all those weeks they could have been doing some work and putting it into it. Fantastic thing is you could always change it. So I would just go with anything that you've already thought of and just do it, and not waste too much time on focusing on the little things that don't matter as much as the real stuff, which is once you get selling. So awesome. Absolutely amazing. So guys and girls, thanks so much for joining us. Get out there, just do it. And I will see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.